Hello, here we are again today. I think today we're going to talk mostly about social media. At least that's what we're going to start with.
Who knows where we'll end up?
Yeah, who knows where we'll end up, but that's what we're going to start with. Like Twitter. Okay, so okay, let's talk about like promoting books, like to start with.
All right.
All right, so promoting books on Twitter, and we'll talk about promoting books. And we'll talk about Twitter because Twitter is like awesome for the writing community. Like hashtag writing community is like the ultimate thing on, I love for anything, authors and writers, like every writer, if you genuinely like, if that's like your thing, if you're an author and you should be on Twitter in the writing community. That's just, but like if you have a business and you just wrote a book and the book goes with your business, that's not really going to be your thing. Like if you have like the book is just your side thing, then being in the writing community is not going to be your thing.
Then you're going to want to be in a different community.
Right. This is specifically, whenever I talk about Twitter for authors and stuff, this is specifically about like that is what you do. You are a writer, you write books and you want to sell books.
You're a writer, you drink coffee or tea, you research how to kill people. Like that's the kind of stuff that goes on in the writing community.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Like, yeah, the best way
You
to
wanna-
poison somebody, that's like, in your search history, like, or
What kind of a poison leaves no taste?
yeah, exactly. If those are the kind of things that are in your search history, that's where you belong, is on Twitter in the writing community.
Do onions have enough calcium in them to turn bright green whenever you insert arsenic?
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of my research.
I'm trying to think. What was one of my most recent ones? Actually, no, I was just looking up I was looking up setting. And so I was just looking up setting for different cities and stuff like that. I think the most recent one I was in looking up Austin, and then I ended up going into music and stuff like that because of the there was a show, now I don't remember what it was called. I think Austin City Limits or something. I don't know. Anyways, I can't remember. It was my parents and my grandparents used to watch it whenever I was little. And it's like they had mostly country music, but like B.B. King was there, and like they had a lot of blues artists and stuff like that come on the show.
That sounds really cool.
And it was like just a show, and people come on and they play music and stuff like that, and it was in Austin. But anyways, so that's where I ended up, and that is not what we're talking about. I'm sorry. Okay.
And you see how research rabbit holes.
Yeah. All right. So that's the kind of stuff that you're researching and stuff like that. That's where you belong, is on Twitter in the writing community.
If you get
Like,
lost in your research,
and if you get lost in your research and you're like, oh wow, and then you talk about
you start out in
this,
Austin and you end up in B.B. King history or
yeah, something like that. I don't know.
whatever.
But anyways, so and then you're like, okay, can a person die from can they actually die from this, or how likely is somebody to die from like breaking their neck, falling and breaking their neck? Oh wait, some people do survive breaking this, as you told me. You're like, did you know that there are some people that actually survive?
I was just gonna say,
for a book.
the great thing about the writing community is some people can actually answer your questions.
Yeah, you can like post questions, and instead of like it showing up then it shows up as a tweet. So then you're either way, it's still gonna show up somewhere. But yeah, you can ask people in the writing community questions like this too.
And some of them can answer it firsthand, some of them can answer it through their research, or
exactly,
like it's I don't know how many people would answer it firsthand about
There's actually a couple people that I do know that are writers that actually can answer that firsthand. So there's like two that I know.
Yeah.
In my followers, there's at least two I know for sure that genuinely can answer that. But that's because they're like military type of stuff. It's not because no, they're not. Not because they're like, I'm not like friends with, well, actually I could be friends with serial killers, I wouldn't even know it.
Exactly.
But they're the ones that are quiet and unassuming, I mean.
Yeah, they're the ones who are like, what kind of coffee does that bring me to drink?
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I go to Starbucks and drink coffee.
Yeah.
I'm really not suspicious.
Okay, so back to Twitter. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
That is Twitter.
Yes. That's what you're
Nobody
right,
has
never mind.
any problem going back to Twitter.
That's not what I mean.
That's one of the reasons I don't like to use a laptop or computer when I'm writing, is because Twitter is right there.
I know, I love Twitter.
Yeah, but it's distracting. That's why it's
It
nice
is.
to do it in a notebook first.
Okay, so one of the things though too with Twitter is engagement. That's what I was trying to
Yes.
get to here. Okay, so
Absolutely.
you're a writer. You want to promote yourself and you want to build up your followers on Twitter and you want to, sell your books and stuff. Well, in the writing community, I mean, not only do you use the hashtag writing community, or in my case, like I clicked on the writing community.
Yeah,
Community. I don't know
the
what. Anyway, there's lots of different misspelling hashtags too.
those
which
which
is
are actually more
awesome.
popular.
Well, no, it's just awesome because this is like, the writing community.
And nobody
And-
can spell.
Nobody can spell. I love it. It is so freaking perfect. It's like, I love it.
It's just so real.
Exactly. There's where your real people are. These
Yeah.
are real people. They're not,
Yeah, most of them will not comment on your grammar, and the ones that do don't actually belong in the writing community.
no. And if they do, they're like in their own little, like,
Bubble.
they're like grammar trolls. There's like,
If you have a really bad typo though, someone might
Yeah,
say,
somebody
hey,
might-
just so you know, this is in your tweet, and like,
yeah, just
I don't
make
know
sure
what
you
you're trying to
knew.
say.
Not because, I just don't want you to look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Most of them
people
are
just
really
do that, and
Okay,
there's a lot of support.
I was
for that.
writing good luck, everybody, and I accidentally wrote good suck. And then I caught that. and I'm like,
Okay,
oh shit.
yeah, okay, so. We shouldn't post that,
I did
or,
it.
oh, you did post it.
I caught it after I posted.
Okay, there have been one or two tweets I have deleted, I'm like, did I say that? Yeah. So,
There's nothing like posting a tweet to show you your typos.
Yeah.
You hit post and you're like, oops.
okay, so we're talking about getting followers, you guys are getting me so sidetracked here. Okay, so, you go into Twitter, you start your account, or you have your account going, or you should already, just have a Twitter account already.
Yeah.
Like you should at least have some kind of presence on there if you're a writer. And this is like your thing, and you want to be a writer, that's all you wanna do with your life. Not all you wanna do, like, okay,
But she means
There's
like,
enough
let me
of it
correct
that you
myself.
want to do
Alright.
that you want to be
If
on
you're
Twitter.
if you're passionate about writing and you really, really want to succeed at it and do it.
you should be on Twitter, okay, everyone
all
shut
the
up.
time.
Yeah. Be on Twitter.
Okay, so you should be on Twitter. All right, hashtag writing community. Okay, and then, so you go on there and you have to actually engage with these people. And you'll find out that, like, if you're nervous about being like a total dork or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm not cool. You'll find out that nobody else is either, and we're all cool together. And everybody is cool.
Because
like
the
on-
cool kids hang out
because
on
the cool
Twitter.
kids hang out on Twitter
And
and the
they're
Redding
dorks as
community,
well.
and we're all dorks and we're all asses and
They all
we're
talk
all
about murdering people.
talk about murdering people and having fun, and everybody jokes around. And like, how many fictional characters did you kill today? Oh well,
No, I didn't.
I just bumped off this
I didn't
guy.
shot. Yeah,
It's only noon.
lunchtime.
I didn't
It's only
kill any.
noon,
I
okay.
fed them instead.
Oh, you fed yours. Oh no, that's impressive.
I gave mine lunch instead of sticking it with the dagger.
Abby never feeds hers, so this is like a new thing.
In this book that I'm working on right now, they've eaten at least 3 or 4 times already.
That is impressive. I'm really proud.
How many days has it been?
So
Like a
getting
week.
okay, so also I wanted to say, like, getting followers and stuff, one of the ways to get followers is you can like post a tweet in hashtag writing community and writer lift, and like, say, hey, I'll post your stuff, I'll retweet your stuff for you, if you follow me, and I'll follow you back, and like you just write it out there, and then it helps you to build up your account.
Yes.
I've seen people get like 1,000 followers in a day just from doing stuff like that. It's actually kind of impressive.
The more comments you post, it's not the likes and the retweets. The
Yeah,
more comments
it's-
you post, the more engagement you get.
Yes, thank you. And you get more engagement because more people see your tweet. You actually get more engagement because more people see your tweet, because Twitter actually puts it up there more in front of people too.
And commenting on other people's tweets.
Yeah, and commenting on other people's tweets too. Yeah.
Gets you more engagement.
Well, putting up your own tweet though, and then having a lot of people, engage with it too.
Something else that's really fun is
You get the right people.
question and answers.
Yeah.
If someone's like, they'll be like, okay, so tell me what's a random skill or talent your main character has.
Oh yeah, stuff like
Those are
that
a lot of
gets,
fun.
gets a lot of engagement, and like things like that are really fun. You can come up with, just like random questions, just to kind of engage with the community.
Personally,
You get a lot more followers that way, and
I also love doing polls, like which of these names do you like better for my main character or whatever.
or which book cover do you like better?
Yeah, and then you
or,
can include like a poll with the vote option on it, and people vote on it and retweet it.
or even just dumb questions. You're like, I can't decide whether my setting should be at the beach or the mountains. What do you think? And then people will be like, well, what's your plot? And if it's you have like dwarves and trolls and stuff like that, well, chances are you're gonna probably want to be in the mountains.
Unless you're going for
And-
something really unique and you want to have
and you
your
wanna do
dwarves and
something
trolls on the
unique.
beach.
Yeah, it depends. So, people are gonna ask you questions like that then, and you're gonna, you can have a lot of engagement that way.
Mhm.
So anyway, the more engagement you get on Twitter, that's actually what Twitter is about. It's not just about like, you don't just like randomly put out tweets.
No.
Like, sometimes I do, like with like new books and stuff like that, I do kind of do a little bit of random stuff, but at the same time, I go and comment on other people's tweets. I promote other people's books. I
Yeah.
always promote other people's books. Whenever people, like I see a comment, or even just somebody sometimes randomly, like I just open my home feed and there's like, somebody there that says, oh, hey, I just, published my book, whatever. Hey, can you check it out? Sometimes I'll just retweet that. And
It's not really a place to get a lot of sales per se. But
no,
you
it
can get a lot
can.
of support.
Yes, you can.
You can get sales.
You can get a lot of sales, actually. And
My point was gonna be, don't try to sell your books
Exactly.
to others.
yes, don't try to sell your books to other authors. No, that is not
That's
how it works.
all I was gonna say.
But
There's
in getting your account built up by engaging with other authors, you also need to get engagement with readers.
Yes, and the other authors will help you get
And
to
the other
readers.
authors will help you get to the readers.
And some of them will buy your book, yes.
And some other, yes, there's a lot of authors that will buy. I like to buy other people's books
Me too.
because most writers are readers.
Exactly,
mean,
that's how they get started.
hello?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you don't want to specifically market your book to authors.
No,
because
you
that's
absolutely do not.
That's like a fail in one easy step plan.
Yeah, you just like,
Yeah.
that's like your whole account is like, you might as well just go home. Or stay on Twitter.
Go
Um,
Even if it's a book about writing.
especially if it's a book about writing. What are you
Yes.
talking about? You're more likely to be able to like
You're more
promote
likely.
your fiction to other authors than you are to be able to promote a book about writing.
Yes.
authors.
Authors are
Because it's there's so many, sometimes it's
books about writing can be useful for
they
authors,
can.
but most
But most-
authors are gonna take offense at having one shoved in their face.
exactly what I was just gonna say. You don't want to offend people.
Yeah.
So if you offend people and alienate them and stuff like that, then you're obviously not gonna we lost the light.
I see that.
That's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. Here we are, we bought our brand new lights, we were all excited and we're like, woohoo, and no, it just went out.
Yeah.
So it distracted me.
Yeah.
As if I needed that.
Yeah.
Twitter,
Twitter.
authors, writing books. build your account on Twitter. And
Friendly.
by engaging with other people in the writing community, other authors and stuff like that, and retweet their stuff, you know, and they'll retweet your stuff, follow them, they'll follow you back. Engage with like dumb questions. Whenever you see other authors posting questions, just, you know, respond to their questions with something, you know, you can be witty and clever and you can
And
be
don't be afraid to
silly.
share stuff.
And don't be afraid, yeah.
If anybody steals your idea. then-
Oh, that is like the biggest, people don't go around, like, people are like proud of their work. They're
Yeah.
not gonna go around.
The
and-
percentage of people who steal ideas is like 0.001. And
Yeah, it's,
then if anybody catches them stealing ideas, they're like, report.
yeah, but also, okay, so if
Like-
somebody does
mean-
steal your idea, it might not be exactly your idea, it might be that they saw something you wrote or whatever, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah, maybe
And
were
they might like
inspired.
create, yeah, they're inspired and they might create like a whole different story around
Exactly.
maybe one little spot that they found inspiring. Which, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really, that's
you
kind of
know, that's like
like, I'm
flattering.
honored. Somebody wrote
Yeah.
a short story once and used all of my character names in it.
Okay,
And I was just like, oh, really?
okay,
It was a really cool story, but they never continued it. They just kind of left it hanging. So I don't know what happened.
They were
there.
probably scared that you were
But
were
I read it.
yeah,
I'm
like,
I
I
thought it was
saw it.
cool.
did they send it to you?
No, it was a couple years ago.
That you just found it?
Yeah, it was on Write the World. I was scrolling by and I'm like, oh wow.
And
Okay.
somebody just, well, that was kids though,
Yeah.
too,
But I was saying they weren't stealing.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
they
like
were
on
actually.
Twitter.
Mhm.
so,
It was not Twitter, but it was still social media. A social media.
yeah, but that's like a children's site, that was like when you
Yes.
were a child too, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that almost doesn't count,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of almost.
I was just trying to say they weren't stealing an idea, they were just using the names and they kind of created an entirely different scenario and I thought it was really cool. And they weren't being plagiaristic.
Okay,
Is that a
so
word?
anyways, yeah, plagiaristic is
forget that.
not a word. So anyway, yeah, that was,
Sorry.
that was totally random, thank you, Abby. Oh, we have our light back,
Yeah.
it got too hot, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're gonna have to watch that, the plug gets
Sorry.
hot. Maybe
Right.
plug it in on the other outlet.
Okay.
I don't know if it makes any difference or not, but. So. Here we go again, back to Twitter, writing community engagement. Oh, and like a lot of times people do a thing too. What I really like is, people will do, you know, a writer lift. And they'll say, hey, you can post a link to your book here. Or tell me, you know, even a little, just a brief thing about your book or whatever. And then everybody in that thing, they'll like, you know, you can follow them and they'll follow you back. That's another thing too. It's a way to get followers and get engagement on your work. And, you know,
Yeah.
people will retweet your work and like, it's, you know, you look for those. I mean, like everybody does them. Like, I mean, it's funny too, because it used to be what was it, one day a week, selfless promo
Oh
Saturday
yeah,
or
now they're
something.
like every day.
Yeah, what used to be one day a week was, you know, don't, you know, completely shameless promo
Yeah.
Saturday, I don't even
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
One day a week where it was all promotion. Now it's funny because like there's, I think almost every day of the week, there's one kind of promotion or another.
Yeah.
It's really
Where's
funny.
the Wednesday?
Yeah, and it's like, yeah,
Tuesday.
it's really funny. So anyway,
I think that's talk about your book Tuesday.
shame, yeah, but
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
I like shameless promo. I mean, like, you know, you can literally just go and, you know, promote your work and people, you know, will see it and, you know, a lot of people will look at it and read it. And especially like if you're doing a promo, it's an ultimate time to, you know, do a promo for like, you know, your first week of launch or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're doing a free
Definitely.
ebook. And you just go and, people, it's a good way to get reviews and
Yeah, you're
stuff too.
like, hey, review my book. And sometimes they'll have one that'll be like, hey, would you review mine too?
Yeah, and there's, you know, of course you wanna do that, obviously. You always wanna, you know, it's a two-way street. Twitter is a good two-way street. for
Yeah,
that.
a lot of interaction and stuff, right?
Yes, lots of interaction.
Mhm.
And anyway, moving on. You guys are all doodling, Elsa's
I
drawing.
just created a creature,
I'm
okay?
Needing
Oh,
more
that's a picture?
coffee.
Yes.
Mm.
Ah,
Okay, it looks like a peacock feather.
They looks like a whole bunch of others.
Okay, so anyway, we're in the middle of a show here. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we're continuing to talk.
yeah, all right. So yeah, I created this character from this doodle, and it has nothing to do with the show, so we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, but I said it looks like a peacock feather. Now you gotta show it. 'Cause
Show and
they
tell.
should, yeah, you can't just like leave them hanging. Yeah, isn't that awesome? Okay,
So,
and what's Elsa doing there? You gotta have to hold that up.
mhm.
Are you making bookmarks?
Yeah,
Okay, so Elsa is our, our artist here.
in-house artist.
And so she's making bookmarks. Okay, hold up that one, the colored one, the one you already did. Hang on, no, we don't have time to hang
What?
on.
Backwards.
It is backwards because, yeah, I hate that so bad with the recording thing. So anyway, it says believe and it's all rainbow and it's really pretty.
Mhm.
And she's making bookmarks and we just have to close out the show because we have nothing left to talk about because we're all tired.
Yeah.
Or at least I am.
Pretty tired too.
I'm tired. I've
Okay.
actually been writing all week, a lot, and I'm exhausted. I even took a nap and I'm still exhausted. I thought that it made me feel better, but it didn't. That's another thing too. Like, I did want to mention, you're writing and you're writing and you're writing.
Mhm.
You know what? If you're tired, take a nap. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay. to
Everybody
take
says
naps.
like,
Naps are healthy.
yes.
Well, I was raised with this attitude of work your ass off every freaking day, work, no blah, 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 blah. You only rest on Sundays. I'm like,
You're weak if you need to take a nap.
yeah, and like I needed to sleep whenever especially when I was younger and I was working a
Mhm.
lot. Like I needed to sleep
Yeah.
more and I didn't, and I ended up that's half
Half the reason
why I have trouble now with different health things is
Mhm.
because of not getting enough sleep ever.
Mhm.
And then I turn into an insomniac because I'm not getting enough work done. Like I get
Mhm.
it's like a mental thing then because I'm like, I'm working and then I'm like, well, I can't sleep. I have to get this done. And then I'll go like 5 days in a row and I'll get a total of 10 hours sleep in those 5 days. Like I'll sleep 4 hours here, 2 hours here, like over 5 days, 4 or 5 days usually.
Mhm.
And then what happens is I crash. I crash and burn. I'm like, phoom. Okay. And then I can't do anything but sleep. And it's been weird since we were sick this last time.
Mhm.
I've been sleeping more than 5 hours a night. Yeah, it's been really weird. Like last night I woke up after 4.5 hours and I got up and I was like, wait a second. No, it was 4 hours because I went to bed at like 12:30 and I woke up at 4:30 and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up. And I actually wish I would have though, because I actually felt better. But anyway, I did go back to sleep. So I got like 6 hours sleep.
Mhm.
Anyway, I have a sleep problem.
We're sending it.
Yeah, it's just for all those everybody out there
that
that
Yeah.
is
And
sleeping
so-
more than want to sleep.
So anyway, well, I have
Wow.
a problem with sleeping.
Mhm.
So, and it's not necessarily always a problem. Sometimes I just don't need that much sleep.
Yeah.
But my point is sometimes it's okay to take a nap.
Especially
Especially
if
if
you're allowed to take naps.
Yeah, no, I think especially grown-ups need to take naps. I mean, like, okay, a child up until the age of 5 needs a nap every single day. I don't care who you are. I don't care what anybody says. Every child under the age of 5 needs a nap every single day. 4 or 5. Because some kids are like 4 years old and they're like, do I gotta? Okay, so like 4 or 5 years old, because like you were like that. You were really bright and you were really active and you were really you didn't need it. Like you genuinely didn't need it. But some days you did.
Yeah. But then it was just been some days.
Yeah. Anyway, sleep is really, really important. And this was my whole entire point was about sleep and writers and authors is that sometimes whenever you're doing a lot of writing, a lot of research, and you're putting like all these ideas into stuff and you're just writing and writing and writing, what actually happens, it's not even a physical need to sleep. You actually need to sleep so that you can let this stuff settle and process in your brain. That's actually generally whenever I need to sleep, that's why I need to sleep. When I'm really, really, really tired, it's usually mental. Like I need to just rest my thoughts. Like I need to just let it all settle in my brain. Cause you're like, your thoughts, they do that. They do this thing where they like settle and they process while you rest. Like that's something that, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me.
No,
But, I don't know, I have an issue with
I
that.
understand what you're saying.
Me too.
Okay,
It's
all right, well, I do know it
like whenever
also,
you read a lot, you can get exhausted from reading.
okay, well, I also know from raising children. And well, no, this is what it is. Okay, so what I would do with you guys whenever you were really little, I used to, so I taught you guys stuff from the time you were born.
Mhm.
Like I started teaching you immediately.
Mhm.
I didn't wait to teach you stuff. I used to start teaching you stuff right away. And I teach you stuff like teach your colors and your letters and things like that. So that like I didn't have to do it later. It was basically I just did it for myself. No, I'm just kidding. It made it so that it was easier to teach you things later. The more I taught you
Yeah.
early, then I didn't have to worry about that later. So that's, I would teach, okay, so you have a few month old baby and you're teaching them, colors. All right. So what you're doing is you take, it takes approximately a week to 2 weeks to teach them what their colors are, if you do it at the right time when they're ready. So you take and you do it for like 10 minutes. And what happens is you'll notice that the baby starts to get agitated. It's like they get like agitated, they get fidgety, they're like, and then you're like, okay, it's time to stop. And you do like, it's a stop. You absolutely have to stop. There's no point in trying to go on because the child, all of a sudden, they need rest. And so that's where the nap comes in. They need to rest so that they can process what they just learned in their brain. Okay. So then whenever they wake up, that's actually what happened a lot of times is you guys, like I would teach you something, you would go take a nap. And then when you wake up, you were more like, you remembered it. You remembered what you learned earlier. And I didn't have, like, I didn't do this like all day long. Like, I'm just saying, like, I would
But
take
it
it
was better.
in little 10 to 15 minute sessions in the morning and in the afternoon. And then maybe like throughout the day, like if we went for a walk or something like that, I'd say, look, there's a blue car, blue. And I would just like reiterate, fun little
Yeah.
things like that. But anyways, so with being a writer and stuff like that and using a lot of words and, doing a lot of research and you're putting a lot of information into your brain and you're taking a lot of information and you're putting it onto paper and you're typing and stuff like that. It just, you need to rest and sleep in order to process that. I'm sorry, I just really went off on this long
No,
tangent.
That's really
Sorry.
That's really a
So,
good thing to put out there, though. I mean,
yeah,
a lot
so,
of people have the same sort of like they're like, if I'm not writing, then I'm not being productive.
yeah,
I'm wasting my time. I feel
exactly.
guilty about taking a break.
Yes,
Like,
so that's,
That's
Mhm.
you
stuff that, like,
cannot feel guilty about taking breaks and you cannot feel guilty about sleeping. Okay, like if you're sleeping 14 hours a day or
Yeah,
12
if you're
hours a
like-
day, okay, yeah, you might just be either you're sick or you're being lazy.
yeah.
Eh,
If
Or,
you're just,
if
like-
you're sick, it might be something, it
Yeah.
might actually be a stress thing
Yeah.
that you're processing or you're depressed or something and you need to get out and get some physical, something like that too. I'm not gonna get into like, I'm not a doctor,
Yeah.
okay, so,
but
I mean.
there's a difference
Yeah.
between saying, oh, hey, I need a break, or oh, I could use a break.
Yeah, exactly. There is a difference between genuinely needing a break. And the thing is it's really funny because the people who genuinely need a break are the ones who never take breaks.
Yeah.
And you actually have to teach yourself to allow yourself to take a break. It's
Yeah,
really
and
hard
then-
sometimes.
And it's like whenever you have to do that, then it's like admitting that you have like
A
physical
weakness.
limits, or like
Yes, oh my goodness, I have mental limits, I have physical limits. Oh no.
Yeah,
Then
can't
I'm
like
weak.
that.
you're like,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
a human.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I have a book who's just like that.
Yes.
I was like,
You know what,
half my characters are like that actually.
yeah, they're like, oh no, I'm
one that drinks coffee for 3 days instead of going to bed.
Wondering what that character from. Okay, so anyway, going back to this,
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, there was something else I wanted to mention real quick too.
Okay.
We always talk about writer's block. Like, okay, we don't always talk about writer's block.
No,
We
but
should talk about writer's block more often.
Yeah.
And I want to mention too, we have talked about writer's block. And one of the big things to overcome writer's block, if you're really having trouble where you're struggling, and you need to like, you know, we said about like going and watching a movie, go read your favorite book. You know what? Sometimes it is just simply go take a nap. Go take a nap.
And then wait.
For writer's block, I mean, if you're genuinely struggling,
Yeah, like
sometimes you need to sleep on it.
leave your book simmering on the stove, go take a nap, and when you
Yes.
come back,
You
it'll
can
be a
stir it
kick.
around.
And actually, one of the things you can do too is you can do stuff like people do, like talk to your subconscious before you go to sleep. You can do stuff
Oh
like
yeah, you can be like, okay, come up with an idea right now.
well, not quite like that, but
No.
you can be like, as I sleep, I am inspired with the idea that I need for my book that I'm struggling with, and then go to sleep.
Mhm.
And then when you wake up, it's really cool.
Yeah,
And then you're like, there's a lot of stuff you can do, like, yeah, you can do that. Well, it's like you can tell yourself to wake up at a specific
Oh
time.
yeah.
You can do, I've
My
done,
favorite is
I have never used an alarm clock. If I use an alarm clock, I am worse than a bear coming out of hibernation in the hollows of Kentucky. I tell you what,
Okay.
me and we do not, no,
No.
I do not use alarm clocks,
I
absolutely
use one, but
ever. I am an aggressive, nasty, like, it's not even, okay, there's like a creature that's like a bear, that's like like the dude in the Lord of the Rings.
oh Beorn.
Yeah, I'm like him if I use an alarm clock. Like,
But alarm clock site more.
yeah, well, the thing is, it's funny too, because, you know, I'll sleep 4 hours a night, like every single night, you know, and I wake up, you know, get up exactly, I'm like, I am the most cheerful person I've ever met. Whenever I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But if if I wake up to an alarm clock, I tell you what, you don't even want to be in the same county as me. Because I'm like,
Especially not a Kentucky sized county.
yeah, really. Oh my goodness. And I tell you what, if somebody else wakes me up, it's
Oh,
usually,
I hate being woken up by somebody else.
I can't
Yeah.
stand. Well, we'll see.
I mean, sometimes it.
But let's put it this way, I have never had another human being who was capable of waking me up to where I was not an absolute nasty thing. Like, yeah,
You know, actually, I
just a bee.
I think there's been a couple times where like one of us has been like, "Hey, mom, you need to get up," and you haven't been a nasty beast.
Yeah, but that's because I was like, hey, can you wake me up if I sleep past this time?
Yeah.
So that's different, like I requested, because I had to like, you
And
know.
then we usually wait like 10 minutes past the time. We're like, okay, you go.
Yeah, she didn't wake up
You
yet.
go,
We
we
start-
start. We start.
you go
We start 5 minutes before. We're like, Mom.
Hey mom, it's time to get up. Of course, I really like to whenever you're like, is she asleep? Wait, because okay, sometimes I sleep with my eyes open.
Like Gandalf or Pippin's walking around.
Yeah,
Sees Gandalf laying there with his eyes wide open.
yeah, I do sleep with my eyes open a lot, and so that's you guys have a lot of times where like I fell asleep sitting like on the couch, like, you know, like sitting there,
Yeah, we're
and
just like,
and
Mom.
they're like, is she awake? And you
I know
guys just
she's
come up and like,
sleeping, like-
yeah, you ask me a question and then the question woke me up or something.
And then you're like,
And
yeah.
you're like,
And we're like,
wait. Okay, so, all right,
yeah.
my point
Writer's
is
block can be cured by sleep.
sleep. If you need to sleep, sleep. It's okay to go sleep, like,
Wait, are you just trying to justify the nap you're gonna take after this?
no. No, I don't, no, because I took a nap earlier earlier today and that was what reminded
Yeah,
me.
she's trying to justify the nap shift earlier.
I'm not trying to
Yeah,
justify
yeah,
it.
she didn't, she's
I actually-
trying to
that-
help.
What I'm trying to
Yeah, no,
say is,
Yes.
I took a nap earlier and I feel better.
And it was
Like,
a
I'm still
good
not quite awake yet, but it was, yes, it was a good investment and I'm like, the rest of my day is going to be more productive
Exactly.
because I took a nap. And I was just trying to say that, it's healthy. That's
Yeah,
all.
we're just joking
Yeah.
about Andy saying
Yeah,
it's
it's,
healthy, and then we're like, oh yeah, she's just trying to.
I'm just trying to justify taking a nap. Yeah, I know.
We're teasing you.
I know you are. I'm just not in the mood for it. I'm just kidding.
That's
All
just-
right.
yeah.
So, little kids are the only ones you have to like really convince them that. And with you guys, I just like, there's no convincing, like, I'm not
Yeah,
bribing you into
it's
it.
nap
Like,
time.
it is nap time. You are going to lay down and go to sleep.
No
You're
highway
going-
option.
Like, there is, yeah, no highway option. Like, okay, so if anybody wants to know the kind of mom that I am, just watch the movie The Pacifier and like that dude there. Actually, as a matter of fact, he's kind of soft in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Compared to how I am as a mother.
But basically, that could have been a parody.
Yeah, that is totally, yeah. There is no highway option, ever,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the thing is, you let a kid get away with something one time.
Mhm.
One time. Then they know they can get away with it.
I like that we're going from writers to parenting.
Parenting, yeah, I'm sorry, I was
No,
thinking about napping.
You see, we know.
I was thinking about
She
napping. I
parented
think
all
of-
these writers.
I think of trying to put Elsa down for a nap. That's actually what it
When you
is.
say put Elsa down for nap, somebody do like tranquilizer.
I wish that, no, if I wasn't so stubborn in making her overcome her stubbornness in taking a nap, I would have used tranquilizers. I'm just kidding. She was very, very stubborn about taking a nap. But fortunately, I am more stubborn than all 6 of my children put together. Which is saying a lot. Oh my goodness, it was a lot of effort. I
So,
think.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
gonna
also
lie.
takes up like a third of the stubbornness.
Yes.
And then I take up at least another third. And then the
Yeah.
rest of you guys take up a third.
Yes, it was rough. It was rough. Okay, so anyway, take a nap and enjoy yourself and have a wonderful day. Take a nap and then wake up and go spend 15-20 minutes
Wait,
hanging out on Twitter in the writing community. What you up to?
We're talking.
But I was trying to
And
give them
also-
like, what did you say?
Doodle on your notebooks.
I missed what you even said because I was trying to like give my last like goodbye.
Yeah, she's saying goodbye.
And then you interrupted what I said. Now I have to say it again. Okay, so what I was gonna say was everybody go take a nap and rest. Like a 20-minute nap is just perfect. Perfect. A 20-minute nap is like the ultimate thing. So go take your 20-minute nap. And then when you wake up, have a cup of coffee and go spend 20 minutes hanging out in the writing community on Twitter and just engage and follow and just kind of hang out. And then after 20 minutes, shut it off and go write your book. Okay, and have a wonderful day.
And if you want to doodle in your notebook instead of writing.